In this episode, we shall discuss India's foreign policy. The national interests consist of two aspects. The first one being national security, territorial integrity, development issues, economic development, etc. It also includes global issues like peace, human rights, terrorism, disarmament, etc. Now let us look into the definition of foreign policy. Foreign policy is the sum total of the principles, interests, and objectives of a nation in conducting its relations with the rest of the world. We shall look into the determinants of foreign policy: geographical position, economic compulsions, historical experiences, cultural foundations, political traditions, constitutional system, national character, and the charisma of the leadership or the leader. Now, these by and large are the determinants of foreign policy for any nation. Now, what exactly are the roots of India's foreign policy? It can be traced to our freedom movement, further traced to the Gandhian principles and Nehru's personality. It is also the people's desire to live in peace and friendship with our neighbors. This desire was expressed through the Haripura session of the Indian National Congress held in 1938. Nehru, who was not only the Prime Minister but also the Foreign Minister, is considered the chief architect of Free India's foreign policy. Now let us look into the features of our foreign policy. Non-alignment. It depicts remaining aloof of power politics and staying against supporting any power bloc. Nehru, along with Nasser of Egypt, Tito of Yugoslavia, Sukarno of Indonesia, were the pioneers in establishing the non-alignment movement, or the NAM. The second feature being the opposition to racialism, imperialism, and colonialism. India fervently opposed racialism, exploitation of any form, domination, and discrimination. It has always been sympathetic towards nations which are struggling for independence. The third feature being Panchashil. It is derived from two Sanskrit words, Panch and Shil. Panch meaning five and Shil meaning rule of conduct. It was signed with China on Tibetan issue on 29th May 1954. Now what exactly is the Panchashil? It depicts mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, non-aggression, non-intervention in internal affairs, mutual benefit and equality, peaceful coexistence. The fourth feature of the Indian foreign policy is peace and international understanding. India always stood for peace, and it stood for peace through the United Nations, and it always vouched for peaceful settlement of international disputes. Or this is reflected in India being a signatory to all international human rights documents, and India is the largest contributor to the United Nations peacekeeping missions world over. The fifth feature being disarmament. India is of the opinion that no lasting peace can be thought of without disarmament. India vouched for total nuclear disarmament, and it presented the action plan for nuclear weapon free and non-violent world order in the third session of the United Nations General Assembly on disarmament in 1998. India vehemently opposes the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, or the NPT, and the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, or the CTBT, as it claims it to be discriminatory. The sixth feature of the Indian foreign policy is regional cooperation. India believes in regional cooperation among South Asian nations through regional bodies like the ASEAN, SAARC, etc. The SAARC has played a prominent role ever since its formation in 1985. It was an idea mooted by Zia-ur-Rahman, the Bangladeshi president. It vouches for promotion of welfare, acceleration of socio-economic development, fosters collective self-reliance, and strengthens cooperation.